Should Rhamondre Stevenson be viewed as a top five running back this year? I personally do, but right now his ADP does not reflect that. We're going to talk about why I'm so high on Rhamondre Stevenson this year and why you should be looking to come away from with him in every one of your drafts. Let's go. Welcome back in. Welcome back in. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So, Ramondre Stevenson right now currently is coming off the board at RB11 or 28th overall. I currently have him ranked as RB5, and I don't think that's all that hot of a take in PPR leagues. Even in half point PPR leagues, I don't think it's crazy. Ramondre Stevenson last year handled 63% of the opportunities from the backfield, a whopping 89 targets, which was a 17.3% target share, which is the third most targets of any running back, only behind Austin Eckler and Christian McCaffrey. Now, one area where I do think he can improve is in terms of carries. He was 17th last year in carries. With Damian Harris, the kind of the early down grinder, gone from this backfield, I think that you could relatively expect to see a really sizable jump in terms of that number. Even thinking that he could get up to 250, 260, I don't think is all that crazy. Yes, there's probably going to be somebody else there. Maybe it's James Robinson, maybe it's Pierre Strong or Kevin Harris that get opportunities, but overall, there's not going to be this guy that's in his way that he's going to be splitting carries with as much as he did. I think expecting to see him get up into the 70% opportunities is definitely in the range of outcomes. Now, last year, he had over 1,000 rushing yards, 421 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns. He averaged 14.7 fantasy points per game, which is 10th most among all running backs. And he was really, really damn good last year. He was 14th in yards per route run. He was 6th in total routes run, but he was 3rd in evaded tackle, 6th in yards created per touch, 2nd in yards after contact per attempt, and he was 6th in carries of 15 plus yards. Now, he was also 15th in red zone touches, but 6th in goal line carries. Now, like I said, Damian Harris is now gone from this backfield, and so it's kind of his backfield to own. I think the volume is definitely still going to be there. This offense should be a little bit better than it was last year. Mac Jones is heading into his 3rd year, and now they've brought in Bill O'Brien to be the offensive coordinator. Finally, Bill Belichick did the right thing and got rid of Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator. I don't know what that experiment was last year, but it did not work at all. That offense was just pretty much putrid for most of the season. Now, don't get me wrong, there's not a ton of offensive weapons here either in the passing game. They did bring in Juju Smith-Schuster, but other than that, this offense is kind of the same. Basically, swapped Jacoby Myers with Juju Smith-Schuster here in this offense. The offensive line, I think, is still a little bit of a concern. I think it could be a little bit better than it was last year. Last year, this offensive line ranked 19th in adjusted line yards, 27th in power rank, but they did ninth and second level and 6th in open field yards last year, and 24th in adjusted sack rate via Football Outsiders. Now, PFF ranked them 12th against the pass and 20th against the run in terms of their offensive line. This year, they did make some improvements. They did bring in Riley Reef and then signed Calvin Anderson from the Denver Broncos. He's probably more of a depth piece, but we could see Cole Strange take a step forward this year. David Andrews is still very, very good, and obviously Trent Brown over on the left tackle. So overall, I think this offensive line could be a little bit better than what it last year, probably middle of the pack. But overall, I just think you have to love the situation here for Rhamondre Stevenson. Yes, I understand that the Patriots' schedule is absolutely brutal this year. It's not necessarily great for running backs. If you look at their weeks, their fantasy playoff schedule, they're going to be facing the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Bills over that stretch. Obviously, the Broncos' defense is very good, but one thing you can definitely count on is because I don't think their defense is going to be very good. They're still going to be happening playing from behind in a lot of these games. I mean, they have a very tough schedule. They play in the AFC East, where every one of these teams has gotten better this offseason, and the Patriots have just kind of not really move forward at all. So I just think overall for Rhamondre Stevenson, I think the pass game volume is still going to be there, 80 to 90, maybe even more targets. I definitely think is definitely in the range of possibilities for him with Mac Jones looking to check down, get the ball out of his hands to Rhamondre. But I also think you can see a pretty big bump in terms of carries for him as well with Damian Harris out the door. It's just you're not typically going to find a running back in this range, that's going to be able to provide the type of upside and the type of pass catching involvement he's going to have. And just being able to find a workhorse in this range is going to be a little bit harder to find. So, if you can start the draft, especially if you draft early, let's say you want to go Justin Jefferson or Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase to start early to kind of get that stud wide receiver out of the way, I definitely think that is the way to go. And then in the second round, coming back and double tapping running back there, I think could be a very smart move, or even just grabbing your anchor RB there, going with Rhamondre. I have been drafting a ton of Rhamondre in best ball drafts as well, but in season long, I'm definitely all in on Rhamondre Stevenson. I think he can be a top 3 running back this year as long as he stays healthy. Offensive line should be better, should be more goal line opportunities as well. So I do like Rhamondre Stevenson this year. Draft him, with absolute confidence. I think he's going to be a workhorse this year. Lock him in. Thank me later. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.